First back to the corner. Here comes Aundre.
Aundre Groce from the Firewalker Gym, 29 years of age, in Wolverhampton, 13 wins, 7 losses, 3 KOs in the win sheet there. And for me, a very good experienced K1 fighter and a really incredibly nice man as well. I've met on numerous occasions, travelled abroad with him, and just a lovely competitor.
And please welcome his opponent to the red corner. Here comes
His opponent in the red corner, Jakub, Doman, 19 years of age, from Poland, representing the unique gym in Kent. Matt Sims and Lisa Shelton there, worked with them many times in his corner. Now, making his K1 debut here, but very experienced in the past.
First, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the blue, white, and red trunks. This man brings it into the ring for 13 wins and lost to 70 feet. He's at 6 feet 2 inches tall, representing Firewalker Gym in Wolverhampton. Here is Aundre, the Firewalker Groce. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white and gold trunks. Tonight, this man is making his debut. He's at 6 feet 2 inches tall, representing the unique gym in Kent. Here is Jakub. And once again, when the action begins, the referee in charge is Groce.
So as the fighters come to the centre of the ring, 2 big men in there, 2 very good men. I've seen Jakub before, I've seen Aundre on a number of occasions. This should be an excellent bout. And again, I talked about the corners, the famous Firewalker Gym. Joby Clayton, a superb coach in his corner. Had the pleasure of travelling in with him as well. And I've had the pleasure of Matt Sims and Lisa Shelton's company as well, Chris. So 2 great camps, 2 very, very good fighters.
2 physical specimens, 2 great gyms, both very well-coached athletes. Both have promised to put the other one to sleep. We're going to find out how it goes down. Round 1 of a potential 3 if necessary. 3 minutes on the clock.
Now, Aundre, the older by 10 years, and in K1 terms, the more experienced international traveller as well. But Jakub, whatever he's put his mind to in terms of martial arts competition, he's never lost, Chris. He's always had the winning ways.
Yeah, great kickboxing background for Jakub Doman. But Groce, obviously very, very gifted as well.
Yes, as I said, the international experience, the Firewalker Gym. And Joby in his corner, superb coach.
And Doman representing England by way of Poland, so also an international background there, but his competitive experience domestically here in the UK. 1-2 there, nice connection there.
But also the nice slip from Aundre Groce to set up his own right hand, and he'd be looking, I said, very experienced. Very good boxing pedigree as well, the Firewalker Gym. A lot of their guys are superb boxers as well. And as I said, very famous in Wolverhampton and across the country.
Nasty overhand right coming in there from Aundre. I love the way that he's so economical in his movement. There's no wasted effort. He knows when to kind of sit down and load up on his power and when to kind of just tap forward. You never really quite know when that power shot is coming, and I love the fact that there's very little telegraphing. The same could be said of Doman, but right now Aundre seems a little bit more comfortable in there. Nice round kick from Doman. He's got to get back to those kicks. He's got great kicks.
Well, you would say that Aundre Groce on the bigger stage has the more experience as well, because, you know, that big stage experience in terms of having been there, done that. And he stays calm outside and inside the ring. But there's the power of Jakub Doman.
Doman complaining there about excessive clinching, but Chris Bachelor taking a very careful look here, keeping the eyes on the action. He's got to watch out for that right hand. Doman is doing a good job of moving his head to the left to slip that.
He needs to, Chris, because as you said, Aundre Groce, the way he sets it up is very clever. It's very slick indeed. But for me, Jakub Doman doing a very good job in this opening round.
The problem is when he moves to the left like that, though, it's difficult to avoid that right. He's got to get back to being the aggressor, covering space and getting the kicking going. The kicks are working for Jakub when they're there.
Yes, he's been very good in this opening round. Again, Aundre closes the gap quickly. They hit the clinch probably too close for either of them to do any decent work. But last 10 seconds, and it's been an interesting contest. And there, for the first time, that right hand over the top actually lands for Aundre Groce.
Just a couple of seconds to go in the round. Great start to this one. A lot of questions being answered about what was going to play out. We knew Aundre was going to use the hands. He was able to try and time that right. Didn't quite land it cleanly, but Jakub also showing he deserves to be here. This is a big step up in competition for him on this new stage.
I'm glad you said that, Chris, because one of the things that's impressed me about Jakub is it is a big step up in experience and the size of the show. And what he's done is he's stayed calm as well. I mean, Aundre Groce is a calm character. He's cool and collected, full stop. But Jakub, you talked about economy of movement. Jakub's done the same. He hasn't rushed. He hasn't looked in any way, shape or form lacking in experience.
And I love that. We're seeing good focus. We're seeing the very best of his skill set being brought out in this matchup, but he has to pay attention to the details. Aundre looks like he's loosening up over that round. That right hand is probably the poison of choice. And the boxing, very, very crisp, as you alluded to, Malcolm. That's been a key factor for him.
And there, right at the bell, that was that it landed. But at the moment, for me, still nicely balanced. Jakub certainly not out of his league as it stands. Got the confidence of youth and the confidence of an unbeaten career in his other disciplines. Inside leg kick from Aundre Groce as he comes forward.
I like the fact that Aundre's using the jab. He felt that the reach was going to be a difference here. Obviously, Jakub very large for the weight class, but Aundre utilizing the extension of his punches just a little bit more here for me.
And when Jakub comes forward, you see the tight guard of Aundre, and just as Jakub goes to throw the right hand, Aundre will tie it up into a clinch, and he does so again here. It's a clever way of negating the skills of your opponent. When Aundre comes in, he tucks up the gloves and goes into the clinch. When Jakub comes in, he's finding his opponent hard to hit cleanly and hard to work with any clean technique coming through.
And a little bit of a warning here from Chris Bachelor. Both men touch gloves.
I think it's the messy nature of the clinch, Chris. I think he's saying, look, we really need to keep this clean.
Nice kick there from Jakub. He's going to try to set up that switch kick. That's one of his specialties. You'll see him step in with that right leg, switch up so that lead leg, the left, becomes the rear. He loads up, tons of power. He's really good with that technique, but never mind the kicks from Jakub. Talk about the kicks from Groce.
Yes, the right round. Oh, is that low? I think that was right to the groin there. And yeah, Jakub's going to be warned after that big kick from Aundre Groce. And the thing is, the reason Chris Bachelor had to talk to them both, Chris, is when Jakub comes in to throw his big shot, Aundre steps forward as well. So the moment that Jakub misses, Aundre is in clinch position and they tie up immediately, so Aundre doesn't take another shot or the possibility of it. But for Chris Bachelor, our referee, it's become quite frustrating because they've tied up so much.
And the difficult thing is when you're tied up at close range like that, sometimes you're fighting by feel. You know, you've drilled these clinch positions, you know where those knees are supposed to land, sometimes they don't quite land where they intend to.
Now, I talked about experience and technique. That was the wildest punch of the night from Jakub, that right hand, that rolling right hand, and Chris wants this tidied up. It was a huge right hand and it was scrappy and led to a scrappy takedown.
Flying knee there, jumping in with that lead left. Jakub with a lot of wild techniques, but he's got to be careful. He's got to set up those kicks. He's got such great kicks, but if he sets them up, I think they'll be a little bit more effective.
That's right, I've seen him before. He's unorthodox, he's explosive. The crowd love him for that. But there again, you see what Aundre does cleverly. He stepped into that kick, then threw his left hook to the body behind it. That's the experience of the man. And again, he takes so little cleanly.
And that's a great way to use boxing in K1. When a guy that you're trying to fight is going to kick like that, you can step in, avoid the worst of it, and of course land your own punches at punching range.
And this is what Aundre's doing in this second round. He's stepping in, and again then throwing his own shot, and it's getting very close to landing on Jakub, and Jakub is initiating. He's the guy that throws the shot. Aundre just steps inside it and then throws his own at shorter range, and he's just clipped Jakub again.
10-second clapper. Aundre probed with that jab, but he overstepped into the clinch. I think if he backed off a little bit and boxed off that long jab like we saw in the first part of the round, he'd be a little bit more effective. It's gotten to be kind of a messy fight here in the second half of this round, but 2 in the books. 1 more coming up.
Yeah, difficult for both men. And I said it's the stylistic thing. The style is clashing here. And you can see when Jakub really steps in forward, Aundre steps in with him. There's the beautiful kick with the right roundhouse there. And he's stifling a lot of Jakub's work and then looking to come forward himself. And this is what's happened too often for Chris Batchelder.
But I love the hand fighting. We saw the deflection from Groce, but 3 lead kicks actually from Jakub. That's that full contact kickboxing background down over there at Unique. Those guys train those techniques that require leg dexterity. Here, more action from the round. We saw Groce coming in, punching his way into the clinch, trying to really control and hang on Jakub. That'll tire you out when a guy holds on to you like that. Jakub flying in there with that lead knee to a right hand, loading up the punch. Wild exchanges from both men. 3rd and final round here. 3 more minutes on the clock if necessary.
And difficult ones for the judges here, because as I said, the techniques thrown, the stylistic clash, it's been hard for the judging here.
Nice low kick there from Jakub, but he's going to get backed up under the ropes. He does not want to be in the corner here.
Yes, Aundre Groce trying to keep him there, spins twice with the kicks, keeping Jakub at range. That's the sort of thing Jakub I've seen do in his fights.
That's the sort of thing you see from a guy who told us yesterday he was inspired to get into martial arts by the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And of course, Kung Fu films as well.
But again, Chris, if you're a judge at ringside, this is a very tough one to look at. And when you look at all the different criteria, you can't tick all those boxes for either man.
Again, more clinch fighting here. It's going to be all about who can reset or cause damage on the exit of those clinch and close range situations, because obviously as you're seeing here, Chris Batchelder not really patient for the guys to work. He knows that they're hanging on each other. That's good work from the clinch though. Jakub landing a couple of good shots. Nothing super decisive, but they're scoring.
They were the cleanest shots of the bout so far across all 3 rounds from Jakub. The 4 punches in a row there. Aundre looking to respond, takes another bolo right from Jakub Doman, but that's been the best of the action across the 3 so far, coming from the man in the red corner.
Good stuff there. Jakub ducking under the jab.
His gum shield's gone again. Spat it out. And Chris has finally noticed that.
Good punching here from Jakub, but he wants to get out of the clinch. Why hang on?
Well, I said, so part of the time he can't help it because Aundre, very good defensively, pushes in. All I would say for Aundre, when he pushes in like that, just bang the knee up as well, and it looks like you're really scoring there. Now, for me, in a fight this close and this tough, just the way that Jakub Doman has really tried to forge forward and really fire off those hands and feet, and the knees could make just the subtle difference. I don't know.
It could come down to that second round. I think it's gonna. Jakub may have taken the 3rd. His opponent the 1st. It may come down to who's edged this one, 29-28, but again, who knows? We're sitting here obviously providing commentary, watching replays, catching statistics. There's a whole lot of other technical details that they're looking for here. Oh, nice right cross, but again, I think both guys are tired.
That was a shame. That was the best move of the night from Aundre Groce as well. Timed the right perfectly, but fell on top of his opponent, so probably won't score there. And as you said, it's been a messy fight, not a pretty one. And now they're both getting tired. Chris, this is tough. And again, Jakub spits out his gum shield. That's 3rd time. And this has been a test for him. As I said, although it doesn't look hard, as you rightly said, all this clinch, all this inside work takes its toll. And Jakub was exhausted there as he went back to Matt in his corner.
And here's some of the highlights there from that round. Lots of flashy techniques from guys. Very aggressive techniques, you know, both swinging for the fences. Even Jakub working on the clincher. Those were some of the best connections that we saw. Good dirty boxing on the inside and then tons of forward pressure. He thought he had Aundre hurt, but Aundre, again, able to hold on, either catch a really deep underhook or an over-under here, protecting his head underneath the armpit. Jakub looking for that haymaker right hand. He stopped more than a few guys with that overhand right. I've seen him stop guys cold, but this was a great time to clash because both men, looking to take another step in their career. Both will have learned a lot from this fight about each other and, of course, themselves.
Yes, I'll still be interested to hear the scorecards because, as you said, so many variables across this fight and these rounds. Not the prettiest bout, for sure. Not the cleanest, for sure, either, but that happens sometimes. But endeavour, yes. Point scoring, I'd like to see which way the judges go as Brett Hollywood comes into the ring now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of fighting, once again we go to the scorecards. Just number 1 scores is about 30-27, Doman. Just number 2 scores is about 30-27, Groce. Just number 3 scores is about 30-28 for your winner. Fighting out of the red corner, Jakub!
Split decision, Jakub Doman. We said it'd be close. It was close, but it goes in favour of the young contender, 19-year-old Jakub Doman marches on, and he's still unbeaten, Chris.
And that means that 130-28, there was a 10-10 in there somewhere for that judge. The other two seeing it unanimously in favor of the opposite fighters. Crazy fight, a very intriguing fight, and an interesting case study here in K1.